What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's do video on gold, okay, and silver as well. There's a couple of videos. I found another great guy to listen to, and I will make sure that you guys get a link to him. It's called Academy Growth or Growth Academy. His videos are good. I really do like them. So you guys, I'll make sure to leave you a link to his YouTube channel so you can come check him out. But what we're going to do is review what he's saying because he makes some great points that I want to bring to your attention. But first and foremost, right now, there's a lot of panic going on out there because Trump said no more stimulus. He cut off the stimulus checks. Now, for a lot of people, this seems like election suicide is what it appears like. But if you guys are thinking that, then you have not been paying attention to Trump. You know the guy, the art of the deal. If you don't like a deal, walk away from it. Do I think Trump's really walking away from the stimulus checks? I don't think so. I think there's something else going on. Either he's trying to get a better deal on what they agreed upon, or he has some other plan up his sleeve. I find it hard to believe that he would say no to money that's much needed in everybody's pocket to get by without having some type of backup plan, all right? So we're going to talk about that here in a second, and as well as the gold standard. So if you're thinking about getting into precious metals, give our friends over at Money Metal Exchange a consideration. The link is in the description. If you're a first-time buyer, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and if you spend more than $100 on precious metals, they will give you a free ½ ounce of silver. We have Pimpy's Investment Chat, same name as the YouTube channel. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. No politics. You can bring that over to here, which is the hidden things in front of your eyes. Over here, we can talk about politics, current events, QAnon, NESARA, GESARA. Just be respectful of one another. And for those of you who don't have Facebook, you can come join me over here on Twitter. The link will be in the description. Also, saddened to hear that today that Eddie Van Halen had passed away. Man, I grew up with this guy. In my opinion, the greatest guitar player of all time. It was just sad to see. But anyways, let's get into... so Trump made this announcement, and all of a sudden the whole market decided it wanted to just drop. Again, proven that gold, silver, as well as cryptocurrencies are still linked to the market. Last night, on the rumors of a possible stimulus checks, all these things went up. And now they seem to be dropping in a pretty hard way. And I mean big time. These aren't small amounts. All right? Gold and silver, gold was above, it lost about $40, well, $38.40. There you go right there. Again, still staying in our range. And then silver lost $1.40 off its value. Again, we want to see these things depegged away from the market. We don't want them following the market. This is not good. Okay? So I find it hard to believe that Trump is saying no to stimulus package without a backup plan. Something else must be going on. He must have an idea for something different. Or he's walking away from this deal like he says, hey, if you don't like the arrangement of a deal, walk away from it. You can come back later. We will see. People are going, oh, what do you think? No, I find it hard to believe. Anyways, here it is, Life Growth Academy. I like this guy. I like him a lot. He makes these really quick, simple videos. But let's review some of them because I like where he's going with this. Trump election win and a new monetary system. Defeat the Fed with gold. Let's get into this a little bit and talk about
mainstream media economists as a disaster for any large advanced economy or representing macroeconomic illiteracy. It seems Donald Trump remains fond of a gold standard. Today we explore whether his re-election could lead to a gold standard and in what format that could actually take. And could Trump actually wish to use gold to defeat the Fed? So let's dive on in. Now, this channel provides global macro insights and champions the importance of sound money in a world gone crazy, so do consider subscribing.
The Federal Reserve was created by Congress as the nation's central bank to promote a stable economy and a safer, more flexible financial system.
While the Fed's supposed modus operandi sounds great in nature, we can see just how badly the Federal Reserve have failed in their primary role of financial stability by looking at the vast booms and busts following the inception of the Fed in 1913. Certainly they have presided over ever greater crashes in the Dow-Gold ratio. And yet progress does appear to be being made towards sound money. Consider, for instance, the number of states in the US
Yes.
where precious metals can legally be used.
Yeah, but it's not just these states. Do you understand? There's individuals out there that if you wanted to use your currency, your precious metals as a form of payment, they will accept it. I told people that I was working out a deal with my roofer, but he was wanting a type of down payment. I didn't have the money at the time. So I explained to him, hey, look, would you take, because it's close to $2,000 is what it was. And I said, would you take 1 ounce of gold? He said, hell yeah, he'd rather have that. So even though he needed 2,000 down, he took the gold coin, the 1 ounce coin that I had, as a $2,000 payment, even though at the time was about, I think it was closer to $1,925. All right. So he took it. So there are people out there that you can will and deal with if you ever need to. So these particular, I know in Utah as well as Nevada, have a literal gold back currency. If you go to Money Metals, they are offering the ones from Nevada. Now these are currencies that have actual gold on the currency, like the fancy dollar bills. They're supposed to be indestructible bills. I know the Utah ones they're gold backed currencies. There's the amount of gold that is on there. Let me see if I can find it for you so you can see what I'm talking about. But anyways, it's literally a gold backed currency. So let me find it. There we go. Gold backed currency. Let me show what it looks like. So these are currencies like this one here. That's a $50 Nevada gold back currency. So see this bill? It's made of like a really tough type of material. I don't know how to explain it, but it actually has gold on it. There's 1/20th of a troy ounce of 24 karat gold on this bill. These are literally gold backed currencies. And so Nevada has them, and so does Utah. These on the back of these ones have 1/1000th of a troy ounce. So they're considered $1 bills. So the thing is about these, although it says a $1 bill, obviously if gold goes up, so does the value of these dollars. Do you see what I'm saying? So people are starting to use these as actual currency. In Utah, they use them as currency. In Nevada, they can use them as actual currencies. So there's different denominations that they have. The $1, you know what I mean? The $5, $25, $50, $100, they have them all. Okay, so these ones are already out of stock. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that indeed that's real. And but not every state is doing it that way. They're saying you can actually use your coins as a type of legal tender.
As currency. Moreover, the popularity of Ron Paul's presidential campaign successes in 2008 and 2012 also shows the popularity of sound money. Indeed, this groundswell of support for a form of money which offers a real store of value continues to gain momentum. For instance, in 2018, Republican Representative Alexander Mooney, who proposed a full return to the gold standard. While proposals have so far died in the Senate, Trump's Federal Reserve nominee, Judy Shelton, has really got the right people upset here.
What exactly are your views on monetary policy and the gold standard?
I would not advocate going back to a prior historical monetary arrangement. I think it's really important to acknowledge that the power to regulate the value of U.S. money is given to Congress by our Constitution. And Congress has created the Federal Reserve as an independent agency and given it its monetary mandate. That is the framework under which I will make decisions, if confirmed, as a member of the Board of Governors.
I find Shelton's use of words here fascinating.
Yes.
As she states, I would not advocate going back to a prior historical monetary arrangement. And right she is to say so, but certainly she has advocated moving forward to a new system, as we'll see shortly. Well, the 40 former Federal Reserve officials blasted her nomination.
Of course, you guys got to understand that the Federal Reserve is not a government agency. It's a privately owned bank. The 5 richest families in the world, including the Queen, are involved with ownership in the Federal Reserve, in the central banks. So why would they voluntarily give up all their power and their money? They wouldn't. So of course, formal federal officials are not going to support this. They've been getting wealthy off the back of Americans for a long time to sit there and push the monetary policies that the five families want. And this is all over. They're not going to give this up, not without a fight. But never has any one president had more members placed on the board. Usually you might get one or two nominations, but I believe all in all, Trump now, this is his fifth or his sixth person he's trying to put on the board. That would give him control of the Federal Reserve, and they could change the policies into a gold standard. Now he's still going to need Congress. He's still going to need the Senate. So what does that mean? When we vote Trump back into office, you can't just vote Trump. You have to make sure you get a Republican senator in there and a Republican congressperson in there so that they can make sure that these policies are implemented and changed. Without the backing of Congress and Senate, he's going to have a hard time. Or I should say the House and the Senate. He's not going to be able to make these changes. Now, having said that, I showed you guys that our own Treasury has the ability to manipulate markets all around the world, and that includes gold and silver. That's why when we said that Trump he was backing out of the stimulus plan, I'm wondering what he has up his sleeve. He's got to have some kind of plan, and so we're going to keep an eye on that. But let's keep going.
Calling her views extreme and ill-considered, while urging the Senate to reject her nomination.
Yeah, again, one more time, you got to understand, when we go to the gold standard, what that does is it reduces the power of government. So, of course, politicians are going to be like, hell no. We don't want this. We're corrupt. You can't limit our power. It forces them to get a budget and stay within that budget. We definitely need to go back to sound money.
Letter, the Federal Reserve's alumni said the nominee, Judy Shelton, has a decades-long record of writings and statements that call into question her fitness for a spot on the Fed's board, given that she has questioned the need for the central bank to even exist. Shelton wrote in an article for the Cato Institute, "We make America great again by making America's money great again." Now, some of the other reasons Trump may favour a gold standard also include that first, it would lead to fixed exchange rates.
Yes, fixed exchange rates, a global currency reset. Yeah, you people out there with the Iraqi Dinar, Vietnam Dong, a fixed exchange rate. Now keep in mind, it isn't just Judy Shelton. There's two, not one, but two. Trump has two nominees that are up, that are trying to get into the board.
The Trump administration has long cited currency manipulation as a threat. Yet his clear desire to actually reshore US manufacturing would also appear to be consistent with a world of fixed exchange rates. Theoretically, this could enhance the competitiveness of US manufacturers and thereby reduce the US trade deficits. In addition, a gold revaluation would also help to reduce the real size of debts.
Now, did you hear what he said? In addition, a revaluation of gold. You don't have to have the gold standard to change the values of gold and silver. The Treasury has that power. We're talking about Stephen Mnuchin, all right?
And ignite inflation, as we've considered in detail in this video. Yet such an approach is likely to require international coordination. Otherwise, you would have large creditor nations like China and Japan asking for their dollar assets to be converted to gold. But there is a bigger issue here, of course, with the seizure of China's US treasuries. And so Shelton writes that today there are compelling reasons, political, economic and strategic, for President Trump to initiate the establishment of a new international monetary system. And Trump goes on to say that bringing back the gold standard would be very hard to do, but boy would it be wonderful. We'd have a standard on which to base our money. And so Shelton has also said she is open to an approach where the Fed would target a dollar price of gold by linking the supply of money and credit to gold. This is something that Jim Rickards has also commented on, where a price of gold can be set and currency exchanged at that given price, which could allow currency convertibility by individuals as under a gold standard, or by foreign central banks as under Bretton Woods. This would have to involve a non-deflationary revaluation of gold, where people would happily be willing to exchange gold for currency. But the Trump administration has long emphasized the primacy of national sovereignty, and so whether he will be willing to actually forge an international agreement is up for debate. Indeed, Shelton writes that timing is important to ensure that a future monetary system is not governed by a global body. Such a development would be distinctly at odds with the Trump administration's objectives. The IMF long ago abandoned its responsibility for maintaining a stable international exchange rate system anchored by a gold convertible dollar.
Remember, I did a video explaining to people that was the job of the IMF, but as usual, they fall into corruption. So a lot of these organizations were formed to protect us, and then they did the opposite.
But in the absence of a global conference, something that would be anathema to Trump, the way to get there is the same as under the 19th century gold standard. Then the leading power, Great Britain, unilaterally fixed the domestic currency price of gold. Other countries, seeing the advantages accruing to Britain, followed its example. Once multiple countries had decided to actually peg the domestic price of gold, the exchange rates between their currencies were effectively fixed. Today, the idea evidently is that if the US moves first, preemptively, as Shelton puts it, other countries will follow. Yet there are clear problems, given that fiscal stimulus would be limited and the devaluation of the dollar and currencies globally would cause inflation, and this would damage consumption for a economy that does rely heavily on consumption. But Shelton has a futuristic vision of any potential gold arrangement, which could involve a digital currency component. And San Francisco-based crypto firm Ripple has had meetings with senior Trump officials last year, where Ripple's chief market strategist, Corey Johnson,
Ripple is XRP,
who stated that he has been amazed at the open-mindedness and intelligence of the questions asked by the officials. This signals that the government has been intensely scrutinizing cryptocurrency, specifically Ripple. The Trump administration knows that around 80% of Bitcoin's mining hash power comes from China. They also know that most of the Ethereum mining takes place in China. However, in the case of XRP, they appear to know that things are very different, considering the fact that no mining is required. As Corey Johnson states, so from a foreign control aspect or from an environmental aspect, XRP, Ripple is a very different beast. And in conversations we've had with the administration, they seem to get that and think that might matter. In addition, Shelton appears to look favourably upon the Ripple XRP payment system. And so what of the Fed? Will Trump seek to further reveal the failures of the Fed, force it to use mark-to-market accounting to reveal the true scale of its incompetence? Can gold once again be used to wrestle power back from the central banks and empower the people? Well, posts from 2018 appear intriguing.
He's quoting QAnon.
Have to wait and see, of course. There remains a long way to go before any of this is resolved. But it's important to remember that if successful, Shelton will be just one voice among Fed officials who are responsible for setting monetary policy. Yet could the tide finally be turning upon the Fed's inequality-inducing policies? Of course, we're going to have to wait and see. Here's our summary for today. I hope you found this video interesting.
Yes, it was. It was very good. I liked it. And so, again, I understand what he's saying, and I think we are being positioned to do that. Again, for all you people who think the war is done, the war is over, just sit back and we're all watching a movie. You're sadly mistaken. It's not done. We still need to do our part. Trump, we can't just vote Trump in. You have to vote Trump in along with Republicans on your down ticket. All right, you guys? I thought I would share this with you because it's very interesting. And people are talking today about, oh, Trump is not doing a stimulus package. It's going to be devastating. That's a pretty big blow going into election time. I have to believe that Trump has some trick up his sleeve. All right. And it does involve gold and silver, in my opinion. Again, we're in October. Next week sometime, we're going to start seeing what's happening in the IMF meeting. I think that's where we're waiting to find out what becomes of this meeting before whatever the plan is implemented. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's why I'm saying right now is a good time to move into precious metals. Right now. Because if they revalue, we're way ahead of the curve. So that's it for now, you guys. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.